we should increase it. We should do this. I'm like, I've had enough. I'm so tired of having my period. I cannot anymore. So
It's almost like your symptoms, you just got new symptoms and they were worse
I
than
was
what
like,
you
I
were
don't
dealing
remember
with
why I was
before.
taking this in the first place. I'm like, this is worse.
Embark on a journey to defy time with LMAO, Laughing My Age Off podcast. I'm your host, Erica Kelly, and I started this show because, like you, I'm curious about the secrets to staying youthful as the years go by. Join me as we discover the secrets to slowing down the aging process, exploring expert insights, cutting-edge research, and personal experiences that uncover the art of aging gracefully. It's time to laugh, learn, and embrace a life full of vitality together.
Hey friends, welcome back to the Laughing My Age Off podcast, where we talk about all things aging boldly, laughing loudly, and feeling like our most confident selves at every stage of our adult life. And in today's episode, it is all about muscle, mood, and midlife magic, the three M's. And it's inspired by one incredible woman who's redefining what it means to age strong and be sexy as well. Her name is Amy Patrick. She is a nutrition and strength coach for women 40 and up and is the creator of L.I.F.T, L-I-F-T method, a system that helps women rebuild muscle, metabolism, and energy. Okay, but in a way that feels totally doable and empowering. So, Amy, welcome to the podcast.
Erica, I am so thrilled to be here. We were talking a little bit before we went live, and I'm so connected to your energy. Thank you for bringing so much fun and vibrancy and vitality to the midlife space. I was saying that so much of it is kind of doom and gloom, or you should be doing this, and these very hard rules. Or there's all like the sarcastic memes about every menopausal symptom out there. So your approach to making this lively and fun and bringing joy to this stage of life, it just speaks to me so much. So thank you for having me.
Oh, appreciate that. All the love in the room today. Yeah, speaking about memes real quick, I have been seeing a lot of funny ones lately. And it's funny because, of course, once you tap on something, then you start getting targeted and you're in that total world of memes. And so I was so excited, for those of you who are listening, we met through a coaching group, a really good spiritual coaching group. And we both have the same energy. So you talk about my energy, I'm reflecting, right? Isn't that what we say in the group, right? Your reflection is definitely with the energy that I have, but vice versa. So I appreciate that, and I take that, and I thank you. But
Thank you.
yes, so like the memes. So I'm going through perimenopause. I'm 44. And there's some things I do want to ask you about. And the fact that I feel like you've probably gone through a little bit more than I have. Can I ask how old you are? Do you mind sharing?
Of course, I'm an open book there. I just turned 50 this year.
Look at you.
So
Look how strong you are. I feel like my arms are covered, but I'm like, your arms look amazing.
thank you. Do you remember, we're of the age where you can remember that commercial for like, was it for the hair stuff where he's like, I'm not only a spokesperson, but I'm a client. That's how
Oh,
I,
hair club for men.
hair club for men. Thank you. But it's very important to me doing what I do that I walk my talk. And I'm right along with you. I share my journey with my clients and in social media space because to be real and genuine about this stage of life is so important. And like I said, I turned 50 in July. I am definitely in the throes of perimenopause and have been probably and honestly too, I didn't even really know that
Yeah.
for a while, right? Some of us, we're not even aware because I think it's this age and this perimenopause and menopause are now starting to get a lot more conversation and a lot more illumination in social media and in conversation. But 6, 7 years ago, it was not the case. And so I was experiencing a lot of different symptoms and my body was changing. And I was a group fitness instructor. I was a personal trainer, a holistic health coach, nutrition coach. But I wasn't really conscious of those changes.
Uh-huh.
And then I dove in, right? I was like, okay, we got to figure this out. What is happening? I'm one where I want to understand my body. I want to get to the root cause, and then I want to put in some really strategic and positive action steps and habits to approach my body as a whole system. So that's kind of where I got so passionate about this age group,
Yeah.
midlife. Because number one, I'm in it. And number two, I've experienced where my body was changing and I had not done anything differently. I'm
Yeah.
sure maybe you can relate, Erica, but so many women are saying, like, I haven't changed how I'm eating. I haven't changed how I'm moving.
Yes.
And I have a closet full of clothes that don't fit. I can't get out of bed in the morning. I don't recognize my body. It's changed completely. And then they're not thinking clearly. Their skin is dry. There's so many different
Hair. I know. So
hair,
I'm going to,
joint.
yeah, I'm going to admit to some of the things I think this is nice sharing time. It's kind of like girl talk time. So, and
Bring it, girl.
yes, this is like, because I'm not in the thick of it. I don't know, but I started to notice it. And then I think when you talk about decades, right? From 30 to 40, I don't know, those of you who are listening, if you're younger than 40, just know there is a change from 30 to 40. I noticed that from like 35 to 40. That was like a big change. I don't want to say I've always been fit because I remember in high school, let's just say, I mean, this is why I went down the path I went, because I wasn't at some point. I grew up in a European household. Kielbasa and meat potatoes was like the diet. And I just remember feeling like crap all the time in high school. And so that's kind of my short story of why I led into this, this healthier lifestyle, because I felt really good when I figured it out. Reading 17 magazine, you know what I mean? The whole thing. There was no internet back then. But, you know, going back to some of the symptoms that I've been feeling, right, from 35 to 40, okay, more of the weight, like I remember I would have to do more strength training. I realized that like immediately, like none of this more cardio stuff. And I know, that back in the day, I would say 10 years ago, right? Cardio was like king, or at least marketed as king for women. And I felt so much better when I started lifting weights. So that was one thing that I noticed from 35 to 40. Are you feeling the same way too?
Similar. I think the distribution of weight changes, where we start to carry more in the middle in between, and perimenopause can start at 35. So, and it can go, the
And
average age of full
my
menopause,
glutes. I just remember
saggy,
that.
right?
My
Like,
glutes were
yeah,
like pancakes. I was like,
pancake.
where did it go? That was like my favorite part of, everybody's got a favorite part, you know,
Yes.
and it was mine because I didn't have to never do anything with it, but it came easier to me. Like I was like, it's just round all the time. And then anyway,
Flat.
yes,
And
the
they're
whole
really,
flat thing.
it's what's so important, I think, to have these conversations is so we can share and educate
Yes,
that
I
it's
agree.
not anything that women are doing wrong. I don't want women to carry shame around, oh, I must be doing something wrong for all these changes to happen. It's literally your body's physiology is
I
changing.
know.
Like someone
Yes.
changed the game and didn't give you the new rule book. So when we go through perimenopause, we obviously have declining and fluctuating estrogen. Your muscles, there's estrogen receptors in your entire body, including your muscles. So, in your 20s, early 30s, we don't have to do a whole lot to maintain our muscle mass and those perky glutes you were talking about,
Yeah.
Erica. But then when the estrogen starts fluctuating, that's what stimulates your muscles naturally is estrogen. So we need to do the strength training and put the impetus, the contraction on the muscle with our bodies, with the weights we're lifting, with Pilates, with the
Right.
strength training, and make it very intentional. We
I
can't wing it
agree.
anymore.
You're right. So let's talk about muscle is your metabolism, right? I think that's a great just headline. Everybody, muscle is your metabolism, because I completely agree with that. When I'm lifting, I can feel the dopamine hit. That's number one, right? Because that'll address some of the issues you have as you get older too, is like that. Um, like I have a twin sister and she's like, are you getting, it's funny because we're keep comparing each other. I didn't even tell you. Sorry. Amy and
That's
I
so
just met
cool.
and we just had like a quick 15-minute like blind date talk. If you,
I think it's going well. I hope
it
I get a
is.
second.
We would have had, if this was like a whole thing. I think we going for, a kiss here. I'm just kidding.
We're feeling the vibe. We're feeling the
Yeah.
energy.
But yes, I'm a twin, so and sometimes I forget to announce that. But we are comparing things, and I'm like, "Are you eating this? Are you eating this?" And it's funny. So the fact that we both have something to bounce off of is actually a tremendous support system. And then we're like, "Well, what do you want to do about it? Like, do you want to go
I
try
love
some hormones?" Like, I'm gonna do it because this sucks. I'm like, but back to muscles, your metabolism. What do you have to speak to that? Since that's part of isn't that part of the method?
for sure.
Yeah.
And I think, Erica, I'm a little older than you, but we've been through the diet culture, right? That's how we grew up, was diet culture. You wanted to be skinny. You wanted to see the scale drop. We
I know.
restricted, we undernourished, we did crazy, you were talking about exercise. We did hit insanity. Remember
Oh
insanity? Boot
gosh.
camps, like
He was too
kill
fast. By the way, let's just pause there because I'm like, I don't even know what you're doing. I don't know what you're saying. I did it like twice. I could not stand it.
Yes,
Anyway.
I made the very big mistake of doing it after I had my second son, and my adrenals were shot. I had
Mm,
diastasis in my abs, so I had an ab separation. It was probably the worst thing I could have done, but I didn't know, because that's what you were taught. If you want to lose weight, you got to kill yourself to do it. I did spin class forever. I never liked to ride a bike, but I was like, oh, if it'll let me lose weight, I'll do it. So
you sweat a lot
now,
in that class, though.
right, the sweat. But that's something that I've kind of shifted a lot on, is that it doesn't mean you got a good workout if you're not sweating. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you didn't work hard if you're not sweating. There's plenty of strength training sessions I'll do, and I am like kicking ass. I'm lifting heavy. I am, feel like I'm working really hard, but I'm not dripping in sweat like I would in a cardio workout.
Oh, for
So
sure.
it's kind of shifting that mindset of what a good workout really is now, and shifting, reframing from weight loss to muscle building and fat loss. So talking more about body composition versus being skinny. Because you can be very skinny, like in the outward appearance, and have very little muscle mass. And
Yeah.
that will seriously impact how you're aging, not only physically, like your mobility, your independence, your joints, your bone health, but it'll impact your brain. It'll impact how you're
Yeah.
thinking, your cognitive ability. And those are all things that we want to protect, because we're already digging a hole with the fluctuating hormones. So the more we can do in our lifestyle to support those big health markers, the better. And muscle, in my opinion, is the key. And it's something positive we can focus on, right? Like, how fun to look at, oh, how heavy can I lift? Or how, in my Pilates class, I can feel my abs contracting now. I never used to be able to feel my abs.
Yeah.
So I literally, Erica, at 50 years old, and I have like body analysis tests to show it, I have more muscle mass on my body now than I did it in my 30s, in my early 30s. And it's through more strategy. But that muscle is going to protect, we use the word metabolism. Your muscle will protect your metabolism. When women are like, oh, my metabolism's broken, there's no such thing. Girl, you've just been
Just need to
dieting
change things. Yeah.
for training. And it's like a thermostat. You've down regulated your metabolism, but we can build that right back up. A lot of women are surprised at how much I eat, because
How much?
muscle,
Let's talk about that. How much do you eat?
yes, ma'am. I love to talk about food
What do you eat in a
anytime.
day? The day in the life of Amy. What do you eat? Go.
I eat right now, if I'm in a maintenance phase, which that's another thing to talk about. Like, there should be different phases in your nutrition. We're not
Okay.
always in a diet or a cut. We reverse out of that by slowly increasing our calories, because that's a fat loss phase. Then we work on reversing out of that slowly, and we're working on our strength training through the whole time. And then that's where we put on muscle. Muscle takes calories. You can't, just diet your way to muscle. It just
Right.
doesn't work that way. So right now I am in a maintenance phase, and I'm eating between 2,200 and 2,400 calories a day and maintaining my weight. So, right. And
Yeah.
within maintenance is within 2 to 4 pounds ish. But my goal is to keep putting on more muscle. And then I'll probably do a cut or a diet phase in the spring. and I'll be able to diet, quote unquote diet, cut phase at like 1800 calories. But
Oh,
that's
that's good.
because muscle is more thermogenic. It burns more. So the more muscle you have in your body, the more you can eat. And that goes for carbs too. You know, a lot of women think carbs are like a four-letter word, but
Yeah.
we eat our carbs, especially in our strength training and especially for our brain clarity and our thyroids. So if you cut out carbs completely, your body's not going to recover the same. And women, I'm sorry, I could just, I love this stuff so much.
Yeah.
But also, we're more prone to insulin resistance in perimenopause and menopause. And that's
Hmm.
where we turn into fat storing machines versus muscle is a fat burning machine. So when we then have this insulin resistance that might be starting, and we're not having the muscle mass on our body, it's just like your body sends out signals, keep putting on the fat, keep putting on the fat, store it in the midsection.
Right.
But your muscle uptakes 80% of your glucose, which is what your carbs are broken into. So more muscle on your body, you're more efficient at using carbohydrates.
Yeah. So I noticed that too. Like obviously I changed the way I eat too, of course, like the protein. We want to talk about protein because that's something that definitely changed, especially when I started those perimenopause symptoms. I just started educating myself too in my own way. The first thing in the morning. Like I feel like that's the trick that I have lately. I'm sure you follow that too, but like if you could get it, squeeze it in through like anytime. I mean, I don't know if you just do you do powders, do you do food, or you how do you feel about either one of those?
Such a great question, girl, and such a great point to touch on because a lot of women go towards the intermittent fasting route and they skip breakfast and they have this very short eating window because
I
it,
used
it
to do
kind of goes,
that. I used to
yeah,
do that. But now
it goes
I'll,
that
have you ever
diet.
heard of Prolong though? I
I'm
do.
sorry,
Have you ever heard of Prolong?
prolong, yes,
Yes,
the
that's a totally separate thing. I think it's like a smaller, well, it's a 5 day window, but it's intermittent fasting for a whole nother reason. It's for autophagy and stuff like that. But
right.
on a daily basis, I don't intermittent fast anymore. Really. How
I
about
think you
you?
hit it. Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, girl. Intermittent fasting is great to do for women over 40. Intermittent fasting is great to do for a specific purpose,
Yeah.
for a specific protocol short term. It could be for an autoimmune protocol. It could be for to clear out, they call them zombie cells, right?
Yes.
Like to
The
kind of
senescent cells. Uh-huh.
like a flush out of the
Yep.
body. But that's not something we want to do long term
I
because
agree.
we then often, for most women, we don't have enough to eat in the window that gets us to our protein goals. And I'm so glad you mentioned protein, Erica. And I love that you know that and are so conscious of it in your 40s because you're just already ahead of the game then. Most women that come to me are under eating protein, I would say by at least 40% lower than they should
Oh,
be.
it's
Sometimes.
so hard though. If you don't sneak it in the morning, that's always the one I would always miss.
And it's
So
so true though with the morning time because that's otherwise you're digging a hole all day, right?
yes,
They
I'm like,
can't
you
catch
can't get
up.
it in and you're not supposed to have it all at once. And you're like, oh shit. Like,
One of my, I think you mentioned protein powders and Whole Foods. I think it's really good to use a protein powder for convenience. We're
I do
talking
too.
about women who are very busy, right? Like women who either have to get kids out the door, they have to get out the door, they're taking care of their parents, they have high work demands, they're
And there's
maintaining a
only
healthy.
so much cottage cheese you can eat. That's another.
That's exactly. So a quality protein powder can really help. Like in the morning right now, I am mostly plant-based myself. Not that I
Mhm.
advocate that everyone should be plant-based. It just
Yeah.
works well for me. So I make what I call these little tofu cheesecakes, like a fake cheesecake. And
Oh,
I use firm tofu, lemon juice, vanilla, sea salt, vanilla protein powder, and a little bit of almond milk or coconut milk creamer. And I blend that all up in the food processor. And then I top that with ground flax seeds. So for women over 40, if you take
oh, I need
anything
that recipe. Do you drink? Then you drink it?
and it's like a pudding. It literally tastes
Oh,
almost like a cheesecake filling. It's thick, it's like a filling. So I make up, five or six at a time, and then I have them for the mornings when I'm busy. So top it with ground flaxseed because that will help with your estrogen metabolism. Really good omegas,
a
fiber,
lot of fiber.
ton of fiber, which we
Make you
need
full.
too. That's what
Yeah.
gets your excess hormones out of your body. And then I usually top it with some kind of berries. So we get the color, we get the antioxidants, and it could be frozen berries or fresh berries, and it's made for me. Sometimes I'll do a little crumble on top, but yes, I'll share this recipe. And it can be up to 50 grams of protein in one serving.
Can our body process that much? I don't know if we can.
Yeah.
It can in one sitting?
A misnomer that we can only process so much at once. And especially when we're talking about, could your body digest a huge steak at 50 grams of protein, which is very fibrous and it's hard on our digestion?
Right.
Probably be more difficult. But when you're talking about a plant-based protein that's a little more easily absorbable, you've put it in a food processor, so it's already broken it down.
So it's light on your digestive system.
Digestion. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to
Everybody's kind of going to be individual there too, Erica. That's one thing I tell my clients. Like if you're only starting out eating 50 grams of protein a day, and let's say ideally I want you to move up to 100 as a baseline, I wouldn't have someone do that like in a week because they're going to hate me, right? They're not going to be able to go to the bathroom. They're going to be bloated out to here.
Yes.
They're going to feel like crap. So it's like, okay, let's add 10 grams. Let's add another 10 grams. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Like you can use a scoop and a half of protein powder. You can have 5 ounces of chicken instead of 4. So it's just kind of little ways doing what you're already doing, but boosting it up slowly over time.
So do you do the rule of thumb of 1 gram per pound, 1 gram of protein per pound, or how do you feel about that?
I think it depends. That's another great question, girl, because there's so many different things that women are exposed to on social media. It really depends on the woman, to be honest. The more muscle mass you have, or the more muscle you want to put on, the more protein you need, hands down. Like for me, I really value having a lot of muscle mass on my body. Yes. So I'm eating, between 140 grams of protein and 150, which is a little over 1 gram to my pound, but I've also worked hard to get there. So if someone's just starting out and they're only eating 60 grams, I might say, okay, let's shoot for 75 right now. And as a bare minimum, I tell my clients a bare minimum, once you work your way up, is 100 grams daily, bare minimum.
Yeah.
And depending on your individual goals, how much you work out, what, if you have weight to lose, then we can kind of customize that. But bare minimum, women over 40 should get 100 grams. And I think the average right now, girl, is women are only having about 60 to 65 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
So we have some room to work there.
I know. When I get my required, I'm just like, yes. And I noticed the difference. Like I could see my abs, like it's immediate. Like I feel like for me, until I like tried some hormones and that I don't know. Can we talk about that real quick? Hormones?
Of course. Like I said, I'm an open book. You ask away, friend.
Like I love the food stuff. I really want to get that recipe from you because I'm just like, I don't do cottage cheese. First of all, I think if too much of it's too much for my digestive system, too much dairy. I'm not like, I try to stay away from dairy as much as I can, but it's hard. Other than yogurt.
Women are trying to balance getting the protein in. And that's something I think we all need to listen to. I love having these conversations with just women who get it, because you just mentioned for my body. And so often as women, again, we've grown up where, you have to follow this diet and do it perfectly. And then we bounce off of it and binge or go crazy on the weekends, but we're not tuning into how that feels in our body. So I'm the same way. Dairy does not feel good in my body. Gluten, for the most part, does not feel good in my body. So I make choices. It's not that I say I can't have that. I choose not to have that because I want to feel good, right? Like we got stuff to do, girl. So we want to feel energized and good in our bodies. I don't want to feel bloated. Yeah. So I agree with you so much that you really want to tune into how it responds in your body. And digestion does take a little bit of it downturns as we get older. We lose enzymes, our gut motility slows down. So we have to be more mindful. Things that didn't used to bother you might now.
And now for a commercial break. Sitting for hours at my corporate job really wrecked my posture and left me with constant lower back pain. I didn't understand it. I was in my mid-30s. Was this a life sentence? I just felt so stuck. I didn't know what to do. Until I discovered mat-based
Pilates. The movement, the core work, it really transformed my body and most importantly, relieved my lower back pain. And that's why I became a certified instructor to help others break free from that same cycle. So if you're struggling with lower back pain, I get it, but it's not a life sentence. Join me for your first free mat-based Pilates class from your very own home on Zoom. This is a workout designed to restore your balance and strength. And again, your first class is free. They're live every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the show notes. We'll see you there. And now back to our show. You know what helps, and I know we're going on these rabbit holes, it's which is okay. But when we're talking about digestive system, I just want to pause here because I've been doing celery juice. I used to have like a really bad case of eczema. And so, but I've been still carrying that through because I don't know how you feel about celery juice. Do you have any opinion on celery juice, or are you kind of neutral about it?
I would say I'm neutral about it, but I would say you have the most gorgeous skin I have ever seen. So I think it's really working for you.
It is for the skins, and I appreciate that. But what I was going to tell you, celery is good for the skin because it helps detoxify. So anyway, it helped with my eczema. I mean, and then actually it helped my daughter because she was going through puberty, you know, and that kind of thing. I'm like, I know you're not going to like this, but celery juice. So to this day, she holds her nose. I'm like, you seriously been doing this for a year already? But what I was going to say, it's really good for getting rid of stuff. Like in the morning, it is like a diuretic.
System, right? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, when you first start, I mean, even to this day, it's like you probably want to be in your home when you take it. Like, I don't think your body ever gets used to it. It's crazy. Like, but it's my number one tip if you are, you know, getting older. I tell my mom this, but you have to find a good juicer because it's a pain in the ass, like anything else with when you want to like juice stuff. I have a good juicer. So if anybody needs one, I actually forget what it's called, but I'm throwing that out there because celery juice is great to get rid of or get things moving, right? Isn't that the right way to put it?
Which is so, I mean, again, we talk about it all, but if you're not going number 2 every single day, you are not detoxifying excess hormones, chemicals, preservatives, everything we're exposed to. You can be a very clean eater. You can, you know, try to get as many organic foods in as possible, but we are exposed to so many different, whatever you put on your skin, right? We have to be mindful of all the things. And I love that you always talk about that with your skin too, what you put on your skin, Erica.
Yeah.
Love that. Because you can't overload your liver. That's one thing we really have to pay attention to in our 40s and beyond as well, is how we treat our liver, because that's your organ that's going to filter everything out. And if we're not taking care of it, that's when issues can happen with our, you know, there's different detoxification systems in the liver.
Yeah.
And if we're not going through system 1, 2, and 3, the phases, and then eliminating it through our bowel or through elimination system, we are holding on to that.
Yeah. You know what? I like that you pointed out. I never thought of hormone. Like, I'm going to ask a stupid question too, because I never thought about it this way. Because you're saying you get rid of your excess hormones.
Exactly.
You do. Okay. So are they actually like, I don't know, hormones, are these like little things? Like they're just like, we're going to hang out and they just keep, I mean, again, never thought of hormones that way. I guess that they stay in your system, and unless you excrete them, they stay in there.
It's kind of what we talked about with the fasting and clearing out the cells that are no longer.
Okay. When you put it that way, I know a lot about autophagy just because of
that.
So
think about it almost parallel like that, where because it increases as we get this, the system gets a little clogged up for not to get into all of the science behind it, but it gets a little clogged up as we get into our 40s and beyond because of the fluctuating hormones. Symptoms are changing. You know, people talk a lot about estrogen as a bad thing. Our estrogen is so important for women. It is our anti-inflammatory. It protects us in so many ways. So as that fluctuates, if it's in changing in the body, it has to go through the process of the liver and then get moved out. So if our detoxification systems are plugged up, I have clients come to me and they're like, oh no, I only poop every 3-4 days. I'm like, oh boy, that's the first thing we have to work on, is being able to process out and eliminate so that you're not recycling
Oh,
toxins.
right. Now, okay, that makes so much sense. Well, yeah, just not going every day would be a problem, right? It's just
And
first
it
of all,
just
you're
doesn't make you feel
bloating.
good either, right? Like you just
Yeah.
feel crappy then,
I mean, no wonder
literally.
why you have what is it? I don't know if this segue is good into like the what is it? The frumpy thing? What
Yeah,
do you call it?
I call it F the frump. We're going to
F the
just get very direct about it. And it's something that I'm super passionate about. I just feel like there's this undercurrent in our culture that you go to your doctor and you're like, I don't feel myself. I'm gaining weight. I'm so tired all the time. I
yeah,
can't get out of bed in the morning. And they're like, oh, but you're 45. So yeah,
of
that's going to
course.
happen. Your blood work's normal. You're fine. And there's this acceptance around it. We should not live nearly half of our lives feeling like that. And I call
Mm-hmm.
it the F, right? Frumpy. We start to gain weight in the midsection, underneath the bra area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Too.
Back fat. Yep.
And we feel the belly fat, the other F. We feel foggy where we can't, like, all of a sudden you're like, I can't think of that person's name. Why did I come in this room? You can't. And if you're in a job or caregiving, it feels very scary when you're not focused like you used to.
Right.
And then you're fatigued all the time. We're
God,
constantly
there's a
tired.
lot of F's, aren't there?
There's a lot of F's. And then we get to the big
Fuck
F,
the
right?
F.
Where we feel F. So my kind of movement I would love to get women ignited about is F that. I am not going down that road. And then add in the word frustrated too, because then we're like, well, what should I do? Should I intermittent fast? Should I do this? Should I do that?
I
Should I do
know.
cardio? Should I cut my calories? And we don't have a lot of support often, so we just feel frustrated and
Well,
stuck.
there's a lot of messages out there. I mean, talk about the whole social media era, right? I mean, I've
Mhm.
had students come to me and ask me for my opinion, and I'm just like, and to be honest, sometimes I would be like overwhelmed. I'm like, look at this. Like, what is going on here? But I think the last few years, again, just because of my own personal experience, is like whenever I, would increase weights, like I'm a big weight person. I teach hot Pilates. So it's actually, we
Mm.
do without weights, right? We do with weights, which I've been building up like 20, 25 pounds in some cases because I feel the best after that, even though it sucks. Like, oh, I was Hulk for Halloween for a reason, I do, and you can probably attest to that too. It's just like you feel it sucks, but then you do it, and I'm like, you feel like you have so much confidence too. I want to say weightlifting, whether you're at the gym, you do like a hot Pilates class, it just you feel like a new woman. What do you have to say about that?
I agree 1,000%. I'm sitting here smiling because that is the energy, right? Where it's challenging, but following a plan, having a good teacher, having a good coach who can really customize it for your needs,
Yeah,
right? You're going to give form cues. I am a huge believer in form so that we don't get injured and
yeah,
we start where we're at. If one of your listeners right now, if you're lifting 5 pounds, you go, girl. That's awesome. But we're
yes,
going to work you up.
yeah,
We're going to get those biceps going. So we meet you where you're at, but then we work on that progressive overload where you're saying, like, I have women who started with me several years ago. And again, they started at 5 pounds. I've got women now who are chest pressing 40s and they're deadlifting 50 pounds in each hand. And they feel and they're in their 50s or 60s, and they feel so empowered. Again, they're probably, I shouldn't say probably, they curse at me very
yeah,
regularly, but out of love. And their bodies have changed
yeah,
significantly. Muscle definition, ab definition. They're not puffy. I've seen so many women where they were so puffy in the face, which is a big sign of cortisol,
yeah.
stress, inflammation, visceral fat, which is the most dangerous kind. But then when they start strength training and combining that with the protein, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest, right? The recovery. We
Oh yeah.
need to slow down a bit too. And that's like the magic sauce. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be killing yourself. It's really about just kind of dialing in and being really strategic with the big movers.
Yeah. So can I ask you how often do you lift and how long do you lift? I'm curious. Now
Yeah,
that you're in maintenance mode, but like I'm just curious. I'm curious
Yeah, and
how
I
sustainable
always
that is.
try to challenge myself with what I'm focused on, right? Like I always try to set goals for myself. I feel like that when we have a goal, we even dial in more, right? Like we're great at setting goals in our careers or for our families
Right.
and kind of navigating that. But why not turn those goals for ourselves too, right? Where we're then working on, okay, if you can't do a push up from your feet, let's make that a goal. Let's get to 10. Let's
Yeah,
get to 20. So I always try to set a goal for myself, even at this stage of my fitness, because I love it and it keeps me motivated. We don't want to be complacent, right?
I
Like
agree.
times when, yeah, I'm just going to the gym and checking the box. But there's also times where I'm like dialed and I want to train and I'm going to do it. So for me, Erica, I like to strength train about 4 times a week. But I would say as a minimum for women, twice a week is great.
Yeah.
And then you're moving though, right? You got to move throughout the day. We don't want to be sedentary throughout the day. We want to move. But I love to lift, like you were describing. I love the feeling after. I don't like the feeling when I am sedentary. My body like craves the movement
Right.
now. So, and that's where women are like, oh, I don't have enough energy to work out. I promise you, I guarantee when you get in your rhythm, give it, give it 2 weeks, your body's gonna be like, oh, why are we going to the gym today? Let's go.
Yeah.
Even if you're just doing 20, 30 minutes. Like I used to be one where I would teach an hour-long fitness class, again, intervals, go, go, go. Now I like to walk on the treadmill a little bit, but my strength training is under 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's very efficient, it's very effective. I follow a plan and I go in, I work hard, and then I'm good.
Awesome.
Then I eat my protein. Got to eat your protein after your workout.
Now, is there that do you get it right away, right? Like you have to ingest it. I think I read that somewhere. Is that true?
That's a great question too. From the research I've done and the women I've trained under, who again really focus on the angle of women
Yeah.
more, a lot of research is done on men because think
Yes.
about it, they don't have the variability that we do. They don't go
Right. The
through a cycle.
hormone stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just easier to do research on men because there's not as much variability. So a lot of nutrition and fitness research has been done on men. But for women over 40, we do better if we get some protein and a little bit of carbohydrate within usually 16 to 90 minutes of a workout. I mean, do you
Okay.
have to be like super on the clock and like, oh my, eating like right when you get in the car from the gym? No, but you don't want to wait hours and hours because I always say, like, you don't build muscle in the gym. In the gym, you break it down. You
Yes.
build the muscle tighter, leader, stronger. Think of those fibers by your nutrition and by your recovery and by your sleep.
Sleep.
So that
Yes.
nutrition kind of, I visualize it as it closes the circle, right? You get what your body needs, the building blocks, the amino acids to build the muscle you just broke down.
Right. We didn't get to talk about hormones yet, and I keep saying I want to talk
Yes.
more. So
Ask me
let's
about
just do
hormones.
that. So because I'm just fascinated and I'm curious. So have you ever done hormones or just curious about your story? I can talk about mine. I recently tried and I quit. Like I literally just quit because I
Tell me
don't
more.
know. I've used MIDI, MIDI. It's like a new, I don't know if it's new, but they were advertising for women who are going through perimenopause and menopause. And I just feel like I was like an experiment. Like, I mean, I went through all these blood tests and, and first of all, my symptoms were like the energy was just, it completely took a nosedive. I mean, I was like a super duper napper. I was like, I got to go take a nap. I got to go take a nap. Like, and luckily now, like since I've been off of it, I don't know, I've only been off of it like for a few weeks. I mean, I just couldn't do it anymore. Like I was having my period like nonstop. And they were just like, oh, we should increase it. We should do this. I'm like, I've had enough. I'm so tired of having my period. I cannot anymore. So
It's almost like your symptoms, you just got new symptoms and they were worse
I
than
was
what
like,
you
I
were
don't
dealing
remember
with
why I'm
before.
taking this in the first place. I'm like, this is worse. So I just stopped. Like I said, it's been totally recent. And I'm just like kind of waiting for like, okay, am I gonna like totally get tired? And I haven't been. So, but I've been watching my protein. I've been just making sure my lifting is on point. So I'm maybe I can just avoid it. But I'm curious your experience. Like, am I gonna eventually have to do that? That's what I'm kind of afraid of. Like, do I have to go through that crap again?
And I just love having these conversations too, because I don't think there's a one size fit. I'm so sorry, my dog is barking.
Oh, that's okay.
There is, I don't think there's a one size fits all approach
I
with
know.
hormones.
I think that's the problem. I
And
mean,
I
you're just gonna have to experiment, and
it
I don't think
it
I have
is
the
like a
patience to do
big
that.
experiment. And you know what, too, girly, it might have been your dose wasn't right for you right now, or you're just not ready for it right now. So I am one where I think going by symptoms is huge, whether it be before hormones or after hormones. Paying attention to your energy, how your sleep is a big one for women, how you're
Yeah.
sleeping. How are you able to put on muscle mass? Because sometimes women are like, I'm doing all the things and my body's not shifting. And that's usually a sign that testosterone is too low.
Oh, my
Um,
testosterone is super low.
yeah, yours was.
Yes. And they couldn't prescribe me testosterone. Then I was kind of freaked out because all my other stuff was like not working right or the way I wanted it to because I just didn't want my period 30 days in a
No.
row. She's like, oh, we'll just increase it. I'm like, I did. And I'm just like giving the benefit of the doubt. And it just like, it didn't stop. And then she wanted to put me on birth control. I'm like, I don't want to put birth control in my body. So
No.
I,
Birth
and
control is not the same as hormone replacement
no, I
therapy,
was like,
too.
wait, what?
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was on TV. I was just like, goes against everything I want to do. I just wanted my energy back. And I think I'm okay for now. And I think you're right. Like maybe my body's just not there yet, but I know I took all the blood tests. I'm like, I want everything to see what I have. And she's like, your testosterone's really low. You'd have to go find another person or provider because Florida's weird with the laws here or
Yeah, a
something.
lot
And
of
so,
women have it's different in every state on getting what type. Some states you can get testosterone as a topical cream, some you can get it as an injection, some, don't do it at all for
yeah,
women. They'll do it for men, but they won't do it for women. And testosterone is really impactful on women. It's your body composition, your energy, your libido.
yeah,
So, that would be one I would say just to monitor and see. A lot of women feel better when their testosterone's a little bit higher and mental clarity too.
yeah,
But I think you did everything right. You tested, and sometimes, it's looking at not only blood work, but if you talk to a functional provider, they'll often do a saliva test or a urine test, which is called a Dutch test
oh,
for hormones that can give you a little bit broader view. And the Dutch test will also look at remember we talked about liver detoxification pathways. Dutch tests will also look at that to see if there are any red flags going on there. And then there
oh,
are supplements and certain foods that can help.
yeah,
But also, it's very symptom based. And if I could just say one thing about the hormone replacement theory, it's just advocate for yourself.
yeah,
Get some education, advocate for yourself. If you feel something's off in your body, whether you're on hormones or off, because maybe if you're on hormones like you, Erica, and your symptoms are insane, we need to advocate for that too. I think as women, we just are like, oh, they told me to take this,
I
or
know
my
that's
doctor
how I
says I
felt.
don't
I
have
was
to take
like, I will give it like, well, I don't know, a few months. And now I have all these hormones in my cabinet. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this stuff? I'm like, can I return these?
Honey,
Because
watch Erica. She's going to be peddling hormones out the
I
door.
know black
Uh,
market hormones. I got patches. I got progesterone.
I'm telling you, some women would be buying it because they can't get it themselves. But that's
I
advocate for yourself,
I
right? And
did.
if
So
I
I just like Erica, stop. Because I did. You're right. Like you have to think about it like this, and this. I said, Erica, just take a break. Just take a break.
and maybe
And
now's not the right timing either. So just
or
have
maybe I need to
conversations
find someone
with another
that really knows what
practitioner.
they're doing.
I always advocate for a functional practitioner if you can find one in your area because they're going to test in a different way and they have a little bit more availability to different types of protocols for hormones. And to answer your question too, girl, and again, I'm always fully transparent. I've been on testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone now for about 3 years, all three. And over the course, I've had to do some different dosing protocols to
Yeah.
kind of find my sweet spot. But then my sweet spot might change in a year just because my body's changing. So that's what's frustrating, right? We just want the answer, the fix, and be done.
I
But
know. I know. I think
in
I
evolution,
was going through tampons too fast. I was like, I'm done. I'm like TMI.
exactly
Anybody listening that's not female, but
of what we want that to go away.
I was like, this is crazy. No, I'm done.
Girl, that goes back to your whole mission in having these talks is you are approaching midlife from wanting to have more joy, more fun,
Right.
more vitality,
Yeah.
more
That's
like
exactly the attitude I had. Like my sister and I, if she's listening, I'm going to tell her to listen too, because I'm going to say, I talked about us.
I love
And
it. I
she,
love that you can have those conversations together
yeah,
and you both have the same genes. So you have
well,
a lot of
she said she
similarities.
was having anxiety. And I was like, well, I don't have anxiety, but
Other one.
I don't know. I just said, oh, I think that's probably some, I think that was something else. I was like, I don't think it. I mean, I totally just, how your sisters, you could be like, just say how you know each other. And I was like, I don't think so, Monica. I think you've got other issues, right? Like whatever. She's going through some
You can
things.
say it like it
Whatever.
is.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I'm getting off of it. I'm like, you are? I'm like, because I felt like I was okay for the first month, and then I was like, okay, why is my period back so fast? And then it didn't stop. And then I'm like, okay, you were probably, she stopped for another reason, but I was like, I'm stopping now. But she found another provider, but they're in Chicago. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll make an appointment in Chicago. I have to go all the way to Chicago.
To get your hormones. But I
I
love
think
how
that's part of it, like trying to find a reputable, do you know anybody in Florida? Like,
that over time it'll just be more accessible and easier. That's the other thing too. Like I go through a functional provider, none of it is covered by insurance.
oh, that
So that's
too. I was like,
hard
I
for
need
women
to
too. It's
save up
expensive.
again. I went through so much, like, and what happened? Nothing. I'm like, this is
Uh,
like crazy how much you
but you listen to
spend.
your symptoms and you listen to your body and you advocated for yourself. And
Right. That's the
that's
whole
I think
point.
that's
I
what
know.
it comes down to. And don't get me wrong too. There's some great doctors and providers out there who will listen and who will give you support and be willing to try. But unfortunately, a lot of women don't experience that. They have a lot of challenges in the medical
You know,
field
you know
with
what there needs, and I
perimenopause.
think that's why, and I'm not trying to badmouth MIDI, but that's just my personal experience, right? And if there's anybody listening, and you are really good at this, send me a message. I think that is part of it too. The time it takes, to find like a really reputable one or a referral. I think that's where I'm at too. Is like, well, maybe I just need to find the right match, and that's
That's
medical in general, right?
we continue to have these conversations as women where we don't have to feel shame or like we're doing something wrong because we're experiencing these symptoms. Because the more we talk about it, then women are like, oh my
I'm
God,
not
I'm having
alone. I
the
know.
same issue. I'm having the same issue. And this is what I've done, or this is what I've done. And when you trust that person, it's not just some random influencer on social media, but when you trust that person, then we can build this network of quality support and we can all feel better. And just to kind of
Yes.
circle back, Eric, when you mentioned this when you were talking about weightlifting, like you just feel so good. When we feel good in our bodies and our brains, that ripples out into every single area of our lives, whether it
Yeah.
be the relationship with your daughter, with your husband, with your students at Pilates, at your corporate job, your sister.
100%.
It's if we're not feeling good in our bodies, it's like you're wearing a weighted vest all the time and you can't emanate your energy and make a difference in this world at all when we're just not in a good place, when we're just kind of mediocre and meh and settling and midlife sucks and that's
Yeah.
just not the energy we want.
I agree. Yeah, being the light. I've been saying that a lot lately. Is just like we're the light. Yeah, you got to be the light. And I think this podcast is why I started it too. And I never thought I'd have a podcast. And I was like, what am I going to name it? It's got to be something funny. Laughing my age off, because
Telling
we're
people about it all day. I'm like, that is such a brilliant name. And it goes so wonderfully with your personality.
oh,
You're not being the light. You are the light. Like you are a light. And
you are
we
too.
Eric and I met in a group that she mentioned where we're really talking about how we can live our best lives as women too, and business owners and doing all the things. But there was the analogy this week of a disco ball, right? You want to be the disco ball where you are a mirror reflecting that, but you're also putting out all of that vibrancy and
All the
energy. And I really,
sparkle. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. Well, let's talk about the nervous. Do you want to talk about the nervous system a little bit?
That's something
Okay.
that we and I talk
I
about. too.
Yeah, I love that you have that as part of your training, if you will,
Mhm.
because this is stuff, again, speaking to this, many people are not aware of this. Like if you're not in the world of like maybe the social group that where we met, that's I mean, I love this stuff. I love the nervous system because it's things you're not taught at school. I mean, unless you grew up with parents who are like in this stuff, like
Right.
you got to reach out and really educate yourself on this. And it's really important as we age too. I mean, there's so many studies, right? When your nervous system is just regulated better than, and the thing is awareness, right? So I'll let you take the mic on this one.
I love that. That was a great introduction to this. Thank you so much. I think also as women, we are taught to go, 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 right? The more productive we are, the busier we are, the overscheduling, the running to travel sports and the career, and then we're
Mm-hmm.
taking care of parents at this age and all of the things. If it's finances, it's a go, go, go mentality. And that can only carry us so far. And that's another thing for women too, where, you were mentioning your sister with anxiety. A lot of women start to feel very anxious at this stage of life when they never did before. They get the ruminating thoughts. They can't sleep at night. They can't wind down. It's that constant wired but tired
Mm-hmm.
feeling. And it's just like, I call it the monkey mind. And that's again, not anything you're doing wrong. The body's physiology changes. When estrogen goes down, your anti inflammatory hormone, cortisol goes up, which is also an anti inflammatory hormone. And if it's not regulated or the dimmer switch isn't turned down once in a while, I call it our stress bucket becomes a whole lot smaller. We're not as resilient. We can't hold as much. Things that didn't used to bother you now like send you over the edge. Like
Yeah.
your husband chewing or something. My husband likes to tap his fingers all the time. And then we get that with the weepy and the rage. I call it reepies, and where you just want to crawl out of your skin. But that's because your body is really under a lot more cortisol at a very stressful stage of life. So, my philosophy on this is we don't have the time to kind of sit and chill in a bubble bath and go to the spa
Mm-hmm.
all the time and just sit and relax all the time. It just
Oh my
doesn't work.
God. Can we just pause there for a second? Because I've been trying to meditate and I usually do it and I've got two dogs and I know you do too. And my dogs are younger too. So I was like to try to meditate. They're just like on top of me or they're fighting. And I'm like, this is not working out. So we'll do, we do the Kathy's 1 minute. And I'm like, that's all I got time for. And then I go for a
It's
walk.
perfect, right?
Yes,
It's
that's what I do.
perfect.
Wish I had the 20 minutes to like
Yeah,
shut
we
everybody
don't have that.
out. So
Thank you for sharing that because it does. That's something else to tell women. I think we have these grand ideas that it has to be an hour-long yoga class. It has to be where I meditate for 30 minutes, where I shut everything out. My mind stops. That's not really what meditation is. Meditation is being aware of your thoughts and then letting them go.
yes.
But it's okay to have those thoughts in there. So simple daily things to get your nervous system firing. Like with my strength training clients, we do some breathing exercises after strength training. And it's again to kind of get you back in your body. Little things like I've learned havening, right? Where you're rubbing here, you can tap here. If your listeners can't see me, right? You rub the top of your shoulders on opposite arms like a butterfly hug, calms the nervous system. Splashing cold water on your face or on your hands or the back of your neck. Great for the vagus nerve, which is really part of your parasympathetic nervous system. Simple breathing. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, exhale really deeply for a count of 8. You're a Pilates teacher, girl. You know
I
this,
was gonna
but
say the hand on your heart too, and on the belly. It's
right?
like giving yourself. That's another tip. If you want to come to my classes, we do this every time. But
I
yeah, the
love it.
breath work, the
Oh,
simple
great.
inhale, exhale, holding at the top. I've been teaching my daughter that too because she's been having anxiety about testing. I go and I go, did you do it today? And she goes, I'm like, did you do it before your test? She's like, yes, mom, I did it. Like I'm so like, I wish I
Love
had that
that
when I was a
you're giving
kid.
her those tools, but that's
Yes.
what makes the difference. It's not the big things, it's those
Yeah.
little moments where you realize, oh boy, my body is up here. I'm getting all
Yes.
revved up. My brain won't stop. I need to take a moment. And for some women, it could be turning on their favorite song and like shaking it out, dancing it out, stomping it out. whatever kind of release you need, but to take that moment to check in with your body. And it's not about being calm all the time. That's just not realistic, but it is being aware when your body is revved up and you might need to calm. And one tip I can really give that makes a very big difference too is your AM routine and your PM routine. We really need to get off our screens 30 minutes. Don't get on your screen for at least 30 minutes when you wake up. Same thing. Get off of your screens 30 minutes before bed.
Oh, yeah, I know. The morning ones are, I've been really trying to wake up, do like some of this, the breath work too. But yeah, that one's hard, 30 minutes. And
Yes.
because you turn off your alarm. So you're just like, okay.
And then it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go get. Here's
But
another
I agree.
one.
I agree.
Water. Go get your celery juice, where we're rehydrating the body, and already our cortisol is already higher in the morning, as it should be, right? It's designed to get us up, get us moving, get us to work, get us to our job. But if we automatically go on social media or watch the news and then don't eat breakfast and then drink a lot of coffee, we're just like putting gasoline on the fire and nothing to stabilize us. So it's this, we're already letting the world control our energy before we even leave the house in the morning. So that's the time when we can really kind of take control of our routine and set it up to support your day. Be grounded in your day.
Yeah. Totally. I know. I'm a work in progress with that too.
We all are,
Nighttime,
my friend, for
I
sure.
know. But I know back in the day, we didn't even have that issue. Like,
Oh, it's a blessing and a curse with the
it
phones,
is.
right?
I agree. Yeah,
But
it's like,
I just want to give you so much credit. And I'm sorry, I'm circling back to this too,
yeah,
that you are giving your daughter these skills. You mentioned the celery juice. You mentioned the talking through breath work. And when you're taking a test, like those are things that'll stick with her.
oh, sure.
And I'm hoping that because our generation is learning more, that it will trickle down and girls are not going to be so focused on being skinny. They're going to be focused on being strong and healthy. And they're going to be focused on, oh, if my skin is breaking out, how is that related to what I'm eating? Or
Yes.
am I sleeping enough? Am I getting enough water? They're starting to really make more connections, I think, than me ever had at a younger age. And I think that's really powerful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I even had like a hair thing. That was the other thing. My hair was like, I had a patch of like hair. I was like,
I went through that too.
and you did too? Oh my God. Isn't that the scariest thing? I'm like,
I hear
what?
it too.
That was my final. That was my final. I'm like, I'm done with this. Like, why is that happening? It didn't happen before I took hormones. Like, I think it totally put things out of whack for me.
It
Even
sounds like
more.
there was a lot of imbalances going
Yeah.
on. Did you start progesterone and estrogen at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do recommend for women too,
To do
and
one
again,
first.
I'm not a practitioner, but I found that from when I've worked with literally hundreds of women now in this age group, that women do better when they start with one and assess that. Because sometimes
First.
first, because sometimes you might not need the other yet. So let's say, really it comes down to the balance between the estrogen and the progesterone. They might just be out of balance because one is too high or one is too low. So if
Yeah.
you start with both, then you might swing the other way when all you needed to do was add a little bit of progesterone
Yes.
and be good. So again, just, for women, just really advocate for yourselves. But there's so much shame in this age group too. There's nothing wrong if you want to go on hormones. That's an option. But I will say, have your lifestyle things in place first, like you did,
Right.
because
I was like,
the
there's
work
nothing
is
else
so
I
much.
can do. I'm
Yeah,
checking all the boxes.
great. You're checking
So
all the boxes.
you're right.
So you want to check the boxes in the big areas before you go to hormones, because
Right.
otherwise
Like,
it's not
don't
going to make a
be
difference.
50 pounds overweight and be like, I just need a pill, you know?
Because then your liver's not going to work so well anyway, and you're going to lead to bigger problems in the long run.
Yeah. So, well, this is fantastic. I feel like we said that we could talk all day. Let's talk about like because this is what you do. Like you're passionate about it. Clearly, you're good at it. How can people reach out to you? Tell us about the programs that you're doing. Tell us all.
Thank you so much, Erica.
Yeah.
I've so enjoyed our time together tonight. So I do virtual coaching and I give you wonderful strength plans and nutritional support. And we talked about the nervous system, little daily habits that I meet you where you're at, and we start building slowly. And coaching, accountability, a sounding board so you don't feel alone. And I tailor that to you as an individual, your lifestyle, your preferences, your schedule, and we build from there. That's really my signature program is called L.I.F.T. And that the L.I.F.T stands for
Great name.
thank you, because it's about the energy too. But
Yes.
the lifted method is really about load with intention, ignite with fuel. We don't diet, we fuel, we nourish. We flow into recovery. So that's that nervous system work, stress management, sleep, recovery, and then we thrive with support. We need to have, I'm a big believer, even coaches need coaches. We
Yes.
all need a mentor or someone who has what we want to get us there. You know, Kathy talks about quantum leaps, right?
Yes.
You have Erica as your teacher, you have a nutrition coach, a strength coach, you have someone who has what you want, and you can get there so much faster than if you're scrolling, saving, listening to people that aren't going to have your best interests at heart. So I have my Lifted Signature program, which it's literally like another child to me. I love it so much. I love the women that we work with, and it's very personalized. But there's a community aspect too, because I think that's so necessary. And then I have my F the Frump membership, which is really fun. We have a lot of laughs. As you probably can tell, I'm a little bit sassy, especially when I start to train my clients. And I leave them in workouts 3 times a week, and then they have the recordings to replay. I do twice a month nutrition calls. We do monthly challenges. We have a group chat where I share tips and recipes, and I call it Amy's favorites, like what I'm finding right now. So you can find me on Instagram. I do have a little gift for your listeners, so I'll send you the link, Erica. But
Okay.
I have a little bundle package called the Midlife Snack Fix. So it's
I think I saw that on your page. I want that.
It's yours, darling. And I'll give you the coupon code we'll use as LMAO for you.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
And your listeners can have access to that. And it's, I do a video of batch prepping protein-rich snacks and a ton of recipes and a PDF document to go along with that. And these are snacks that are going to fuel your energy, your recovery, your mood, your hormones, and it's really stabilize your blood sugar.
Is the tofu cheesecake in there?
It is not, but I will send that to you.
Okay.
You feel free to share. It's one of my
cheesecake.
Yeah, but my husband loves it too. I make it.
I really like that. So, did you make that, or did you get help with that? That's very creative.
Thank you. I got inspired with another recipe, and then I took it into my own.
Awesome. Cool. Well, super exciting. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll put everything, of course, in the notes here. And yeah, I feel like we're going to have another conversation soon because I feel like you're going to be my new bestie.
I love it. I would love to be here again. And I would just really want to commend you for all you're doing to bring this energy to the world and for women who really need it.
You too.
Your social media is just a delight. And it's so fun to see that on social media, the positivity and the humor and the joy and the realness too. You're very real and genuine. So,
I appreciate that. I'm trying to keep it more real. No pun intended.
Just feel better, right? And then women, I think we need more of that. I think we need more authenticity, and not that every day is perfect and joy-filled and fun. There are real moments too. And there's moments where we feel like we're struggling, but if we have connection and we have positive people in our world, then it all
works out. I feel like, the support is everything. So
sure.
Check Amy out, and we'll talk soon, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye. And now for a joke. How does a ghost get organized? It writes a taboo list. That's it for now. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.